Once upon a time, during a raging hot summer, the sun beat down mercilessly on the land, scorching everything beneath its golden rays. The rivers had shrunk to dusty ribbons, and the ponds had vanished, leaving behind cracked earth. In the vast blue sky, a thirsty crow soared, its wings growing heavy with each beat. It had been flying for hours, searching desperately, everywhere, for just a single drop of water. Its throat was parched, and its energy was fading fast. The whole world seemed to be holding its breath, waiting for a relief that never came. The crow's keen eyes scanned the landscape below. It spotted a village, a place where humans lived, and hope fluttered in its chest. Surely, there would be water there. It glided down, landing silently near a well, its heart pounding with anticipation. Leaning over the edge, it peered into the darkness, but its hopes sank. The well was completely dry, a deep, empty pit of stone and shadow. Disappointed but not defeated, the crow flew to another well, and then another. Each one was the same. Every single well was dry, a stark reminder of the relentless drought. The villagers had likely taken every last drop. The crow was growing weaker, more tired, and thirstier with every passing moment. Its feathers drooped, and a feeling of despair began to creep in. Was it going to perish from thirst? It felt its strength leaving its body, and for a moment, it nearly gave up. Just as the crow was about to surrender to its fate, its sharp eyes caught a glimpse of something promising near an old, abandoned hut. It was a tall, earthen pot, standing alone in the shade. With its last bit of strength, the crow flew over and landed on the pot's rim. It eagerly peered inside. There was water. A small pool shimmered at the very bottom, but as the crow stretched its neck and tried to reach it, it realized the problem. The water level was far too low. Its beak couldn't get anywhere near the life-saving liquid. The pot was too tall and narrow for it to dip its head in. It was so close, yet so far. The sight of the unreachable water was almost more torturous than having found no water at all. The crow hopped around the pot, frustrated and desperate, cawing softly in distress. It tried tipping the pot over, but it was too heavy, firmly settled in the dry ground. The cruel irony was almost too much to bear. The crow slumped onto the ground, its head hung low. But as it sat there, feeling defeated, its gaze fell upon the small pebbles and stones scattered all around the pot. A spark ignited in its clever mind. An idea, simple yet brilliant, began to form. It looked from the pebbles to the water pot, and back again. Could it work? It was worth a try. With renewed determination, the crow picked up a small pebble in its beak. It hopped back to the pot, and, with a careful aim, dropped the pebble inside. Plink. A tiny splash. It then picked up another stone and dropped it in. Plink. And another. Plink. One by one, with patient and tireless effort, the crow began a steady rhythm of picking up pebbles and dropping them into the pot. The work was slow and laborious. Its beak grew sore, and its neck ached from the repetitive motion. But the crow didn't stop. It focused solely on its task, its eyes fixed on the water inside. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, something magical began to happen. With each pebble that joined the others at the bottom, the water level rose, just a little bit. The pile of stones inside the pot grew larger and larger. The crow worked tirelessly, its movements becoming more and more frantic as it saw its plan working. The water, which had been so tantalizingly out of reach, was now climbing steadily up the sides of the pot, a little higher and a little higher still. The plink, plink, plink of the stones was like a drumbeat of hope. The crow was exhausted, But the sight of the rising water filled it with an energy it didn't know it had. It gathered pebbles faster, its heart racing. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the water level reached the brim of the pot. The crow could hardly believe its eyes. Its clever plan had worked. It had brought the water to itself, instead of trying fruitlessly to reach down to the water. With a joyful caw, the crow dipped its beak into the cool, clear water. It drank and drank, quenching the terrible thirst that had plagued it for so long. The water was the sweetest it had ever tasted. It was the taste of survival, of victory, of intelligence triumphing over adversity. The crow drank its fill, feeling life and strength flow back into its weary body. It rested for a moment on the edge of the pot, looking at the stones that had been its salvation. It wasn't brute force or luck that had saved it, but its own cleverness and its refusal to give up. Thanks to its patience and its sharp mind, the crow had not only survived, but had also proven that even the most difficult problems can be solved with a little bit of creative thinking. As the crow prepared to fly away, its body and spirit refreshed, it took one last look at the scene: the heavy pot, the scattered pebbles, and the water now within reach. It was a testament to its ingenuity. The story of this wise crow teaches us a valuable lesson that has been passed down through generations. It shows us that intelligence and patience can solve even the most challenging problems. When faced with an obstacle that seems insurmountable, we shouldn't give up. Sometimes, the smartest and most effective solutions don't come from great strength, but from simple, persistent effort and a willingness to think differently. Where there's a will, there's a way. This little crow, with its simple but brilliant idea, reminds us all that with a bit of thought and a lot of perseverance, we can overcome any hardship that comes our way.